One of President John F. Kennedy's best-known speeches was delivered 60 years ago today.
It started in July when the Democratic Party nominated Senator John F. Kennedy for President of the United States.
55 years ago today.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Lee Harvey Oswald, a former U.S. Marine who had embraced Marxism and defected for a time to the Soviet Union. Oswald was back in U.S. for a pup rose, which none had ever thought about. It was November 22. A light rain was falling. On Friday morning in Dallas, Texas, and 46 years old, John F. Kennedy was shot while riding in a motorcade through Dallas. Despite immediate hospitalization, he succumbed to his grievous wounds, leaving a nation and the world in shock and mourning. On that Friday, America not only lost its 35th president, but it also bid farewell to a visionary leader as great as everyone had hoped. This is the legacy of the first Roman Catholic president of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So stay tuned. Chapter 1: A Path to Power. No, you certainly can't. These are the last words of John F. Kennedy in response to Nellie Connolly, who asked, "Mr. President, they can't make you believe now that there are not some in Dallas who love and appreciate you, can they?" President Kennedy was probably the busiest man in the country, but he still found time to laugh and play with his children. John F. Kennedy was born into the Kennedy family in Brookline, Massachusetts. From a young age, John, or Jack as he was often called, displayed a natural curiosity and intelligence. He was the second of 9 children, born into a family that valued public service and political involvement. His father, Joseph P. Kennedy, was a successful businessman and an influential figure in the Democratic Party. He graduated from Harvard University in 1940, and in 1941, when World War II was raging, Jack enlisted in the United States Navy. He served with distinction, commanding a patrol torpedo boat in the Pacific Theater. It was during a fateful night in 1943 that his boat, PT-109, was struck by a Japanese destroyer. Despite suffering injuries himself, Kennedy led his crew to safety, displaying immense bravery and leadership. After the war, Jack's political ambitions began to take shape. In 1946, he successfully ran for Congress, representing Massachusetts' 11th Congressional District. His charisma and charm quickly made him a rising star within the Democratic Party. In 1952, Kennedy set his sights on the United States Senate. Despite facing a formidable opponent, he campaigned tirelessly, captivating audiences with his eloquence and vision for a better America. His hard work paid off, and he won the election, becoming the junior senator from Massachusetts. As a senator, Kennedy continued to make a name for himself, advocating for civil rights, healthcare reform, and a strong national defense. In 1960, the momentous year arrived. Kennedy announced his candidacy for the presidency, embarking on a whirlwind campaign that would captivate the nation. His opponent, Richard Nixon, was a seasoned politician, but Kennedy's youthful energy and charisma won over the hearts of the American people. The 1960 presidential election was a close and hard-fought battle, but in the end, Kennedy emerged victorious, becoming the 35th president of the United States. His inauguration in January 1961 was a moment of hope and optimism, as he famously declared, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country."
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Chapter 2: A Presidential Odyssey. On January 20, 1961, President John F. Kennedy delivered his inaugural address in which he announced that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and success of liberty. The climax of the speech and its most memorable phrase, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," was honed down from a thought about sacrifice that Kennedy had long held in his mind and had expressed in various ways in campaign speeches. Less than 6 weeks after his inauguration, on March 1, President Kennedy issued an executive order establishing the Peace Corps as a pilot program within the Department of State. He envisioned the Peace Corps as a pool of trained American volunteers who would go overseas to help foreign countries meet their needs for skilled manpower. Kennedy's presidency was marked by a series of defining moments that showcased his unwavering commitment to progress, diplomacy, and the pursuit of a better future for all Americans. One such moment came on April 16, 1961, when Kennedy faced the Bay of Pigs invasion. Despite its failure, Kennedy took full responsibility, displaying his integrity and leadership. Just weeks later, a group of courageous black and white youths embarked on the first of several freedom rides to challenge racial discrimination in interstate travel. Kennedy supported their cause, recognizing the importance of civil rights. In spring 1961, President John F. Kennedy approved a mission to land a man on the moon by the end of the decade. Project Apollo was already underway in its very early stages, with only a circumlunar goal. And on May 5, an American named Alan Shepard became the first man in space. Kennedy, a staunch advocate for scientific progress, saw the potential of space exploration and set forth an ambitious plan. In a historic speech on May 25, Kennedy declared his vision to put a man on the moon before the end of the decade. This audacious goal, known as the Kennedy Plan, showcased his unwavering determination and commitment to pushing the boundaries of human achievement. Demonstrating his diplomatic skills and negotiating crucial agreements that eased tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, Kennedy met with Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev in Vienna in June 1961. As the Cold War intensified, Kennedy faced another critical moment. East Germany began constructing the Berlin Wall, symbolizing the ideological divide between East and West. Kennedy's support for West Berliners showcased his unwavering commitment to freedom and democracy. The world held its breath on October 16, 1961, when Kennedy revealed the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba, sparking the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy's calm and measured response, along with his resolve to find a peaceful solution, averted catastrophe. On October 28, the Cuban Missile Crisis was resolved. Kennedy's resolute leadership and willingness to engage in diplomacy ensured a peaceful resolution, preventing a global catastrophe. Tragedy struck on September 15, when a bombing at a Birmingham church claimed the lives of 4 innocent girls. Kennedy condemned this act of hate and violence, vowing to fight against racial injustice and discrimination. Kennedy's presidency was marked by a remarkable vision, unwavering determination, and a commitment to progress. Through his leadership, Kennedy inspired a nation to dream big, confront challenges head-on, and strive for a better future. On October 7, 1963, Kennedy signed the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, a landmark agreement that prohibited nuclear weapons testing. This treaty demonstrated Kennedy's commitment to global peace and disarmament. His legacy as a great leader and a champion of American ideals continues to inspire generations to this day. Chapter 3: Long Live Leader. In the shadowy arena of the Cold War, where the world teetered on the precipice of annihilation, 2 giants strode the stage: Kennedy and Nixon. They may have been painted as ideological opposites, but their souls bore a common mark: the fervent belief in American supremacy. With iron resolve, they stood united against the crimson tide of communism, preaching the gospel of military might and the necessity of a global American helm. Yet, their paths diverged like the two faces of a coin. Kennedy, the charismatic visionary, vowed to resurrect the nation's fortunes by breathing life into the ailing public sector, while Nixon, the hardened realist, offered a starkly contrasting promise to cleave federal spending with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel. Kennedy's rhetoric echoed the thunderous call of the civil rights movement, a melody that resonated through the veins of America, while Nixon's silence spoke volumes of his indifference. A crucible of faith clashed with patriotism as Kennedy's Catholic roots led to suspicions that the Pope's whisper might drown out the cries of Lady Liberty. In a tumultuous economic landscape, Kennedy wielded a stimulus sword. Social Security and unemployment benefits were extended. Military coffers swelled by 20%. The minimum wage ascended, and billions flowed like a river to erect new homes. Kennedy gambled on a daring tax cut, a roll of the dice that promised a flourishing economy and soaring revenues, yet unwittingly ushered in the specter of inflation and kindled a fiery feud between titans of industry and laborers in the streets. On the world stage, the Kennedy administration danced amidst triumphs and tragedies. The Cuban Missile Crisis cast a pall of nuclear Armageddon, the haunting echoes of the Bay of Pigs invasion still reverberating. But in the darkest hour, Kennedy's unwavering resolve held the keys to peace, steering humanity away from the abyss. The Alliance for Progress, a beacon of hope, extended its hand to Latin America, striving for democracy and forestalling the fires of revolution. Then, on that fateful day in Dallas, fate's cruel hand intervened. An assassin's bullet, cold as the depths of space, shattered the promise of Camelot. Lee Harvey Oswald, a man of volatile temperament with ties to foreign shadows, unleashed death from a window overlooking the motorcade. And in a twisted encore, Jack Ruby silenced Oswald, adding layers of intrigue to an already bewildering narrative. The realm of conspiracy theories swirled, but the weight of evidence pointed to Oswald's lonely hand, forever sealing the tragic tale of Kennedy's demise. The legacy of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, is one that will forever be etched in the annals of history. From his humble beginnings as a young boy in Massachusetts to his heroic actions during World War II, Kennedy's journey to the presidency was one of determination, charisma, and unwavering commitment to public service. Kennedy's presidency was tragically cut short on that fateful day in Dallas, but his impact on the nation and the world cannot be understated. His unwavering commitment to civil rights, his pursuit of global peace, and his dedication to public service continue to inspire generations. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and presidency of John F. Kennedy. We hope that you have gained a deeper understanding of his remarkable legacy and the impact he had on our nation and the world. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories that shape our world.